So why did we move to HPSF? We really want to try to interact and collaborate with all the other products that are part of HPSF, and really try to broaden that collaboration with them. And then, another biggie for us was to try to introduce Trilinos to new users and developers, let them know what Trilinos is, what it can do, and hopefully see if we can help others take advantage of it. There is a sister organization or grouping called Eurotug, and they hold a tug meeting in Europe, so we've been coordinating with them, and they're moving to a semi-annual schedule. Just to let you know, current plans are sometime next year, spring, summer, I don't know. There's a lot of discussion going on this week about that, so we'll get you updated as soon as we start finalizing some ideas. If you're familiar with Trilinos, we've normally had our tug meeting in October. That October meeting will likely continue, but we'll probably do that as more of a Sandia specific meeting to try to handle Sandia application questions, concerns, and support for them. So if you weren't here on Monday, we do have a new logo. Hey, it's on the GitHub site. If you're going to need a logo, you can go to that repo and download whatever version of the logo you'd like to use. So, what is Trilinos? It really is a collection of mathematical libraries to be able to support complex physics applications and solving their engineering and scientific applications and questions. When this started, 25 years ago, there was real need to, how do you coordinate and put these packages together? So there was a real emphasis on, hey, can we use economies of scale and share the costs of software engineering tools and processes across all those packages? And then make sure that they're all interoperable so that you can use one with another and be able to start piecing those together to generate new capabilities. And so, those things have developed. So, from this standpoint in time, hey, Trilinos really is a community of users and developers trying to develop, the scientific software collaboratively and make sure they're still interoperable. We're working towards always the HPC end of the spectrum of these algorithms to continue to help solve those complex physics problems. And we've covered a wide variety of those physics, from CFD, structural mechanics, electromagnetics, a wide range of applications. Over the last year, we started the year with 11 people on the technical steering committee as part of that leadership. That was far too many people for the workload. Hey, to scale that for the amount of work and effort, we've reduced that just down to 3 members. Now, part of my presentation here is I got a lot of faces on here because I want people to be able to say, hey, here are the people, here's the kinds of things they're doing, you might know who to talk to. So, myself, I'm on that committee. Christian Glusa right here, he's also on the committee. He's leads our strategic leadership efforts. And then Jim Willenbring is not here at the moment. You know how it is, competing talk somewhere else that he really needed to be involved in. So, but yeah, no, Jim's been part of Trilinos for many of those years, 20 or so years, I would guess. I don't know, but he's also on that committee. I do want to thank all the previous members that were doing the leadership. Most notably is Mike Carew. If you don't know, Mike Carew is the founder of Trilinos, started that 25 years ago and has been an active member up through the years. This last year, he actually did retire, so we don't harass him as much as we used to, but we still harass him. Okay, so we have a lot of packages, and so we've grouped them into different areas, and so we have some leadership handling each of those areas. So Roger here up front is the lead for the core area. This is where a lot of our packages are our basic packages that a lot of other Trilinos packages are built on, and applications. And that goes from performance portability, where we utilize Cocos, the optimized math kernels with Cocos kernels, our distributed linear algebra with tpetra, all the way up to we have an active effort in a Python interface. Basically built on top of that is our solvers area, and that's led by Jonathan Hu right here. And that encapsulates all our solvers. So iterative, dense, direct, all those solvers, preconditioners, all the pieces that you kind of need to be able to do some of your solvers work. We even have an eigensolver package. On top of that is Moro. Is Moro in here? Oh, he's standing in the back. He leads the discretization analysis area, and this is where we have a lot of higher level capabilities built that the applications can take advantage of. So, finite element assembly and the finite element assembly, we have some mesh method areas, along with automatic differentiation, optimization, time integration. You can see that just trying to support a variety of pieces that the applications need to complete their work. Now, supporting all of that is our DevSecOps, right? If we have an area just on being able to handle our continuous integration, continuous employment. That's led by Sam Brown in the back. These are important folks to help make sure everything keeps running, all our nightly testing and building, and handle all our release processes for the various versions of Trilinos. So the next set of slides I'm not going to go into any depth. I've put them into the slide deck. They are on the HPSF site. Put it up here for reference, just so you kind of get an idea. There's a lot of packages, some basic description, but probably the most important part is on the far column, right? Hey, these are the package leads. These are the people who actually are, have ownership and doing active development on those areas. If you have questions about it, those are great people to reach out to learn more about individual packages. Always, if you have a problem trying to figure out who to talk to, you can talk to one of the area leads, you can talk to me, we'll get you routed to the right person. Same thing here for the solvers area. Again, for reference, people, packages. And then lastly, the discretization area and all the various peoples there. Now, I spend a second on the DevOps team, because this is a set of people that most everybody will be talking with if they're trying to do a build, run into issues. They can give you a hand. And so Joe is on the team. He's in the back over there. Anderson is not here. He went to the Inlet conference, so he wasn't able to make it this week. And I haven't seen Justin. He's not here, so I thought he might be here. So anyways, again, these are the folks that can really help you if you're having difficulties with the builds. But don't be shy. Many of us do builds and run into issues. Most Trilinos developers can give you a hand, or at least point you in the right direction. Mentioned earlier, we have a lot of applications. I just went through and put a few up here. It ranges from, hypersonics and electromagnetics and plasmas, shape optimization, even graph algorithms. Through the wide gamut, we have a couple rapid development and research type codes that take advantage of Trilinos, Deal 2, and then even C4 here, which Matthias will be giving a talk later this afternoon about some of the efforts that they have. I thought this would be an interesting plot to kind of show. And so here's the history of packages within Trilinos over the years. And I'll caveat this right up front that the set of rules I used to determine dates and things was I checked the repo every January 1st and looked at the packages directory and which packages were actually present at that date. And so that's how I kind of graphed this out. It gives us, it's just a fair representation, but maybe not completely accurate. But you can see, essentially, the first 15 years we were adding packages, and then in the next 10 or so years we were fairly flat, and then over the last couple of years we've been deprecating packages that are no longer in use. We didn't have any applications using them, so we were deprecating them. And then you can see at the very end, next year we're expecting to have a drop off of a bunch of packages. And this is essentially the ePetra deprecation that we have planned. And this is not so much, this really doesn't have anything to do about the health of Trilinos. It really is that we had duplicated code. We had ePetra and tPetra. And so why do you have duplicative code? That's a waste of resources. Well, it's just kind of the way it happened. If you actually look, ePetra and tPetra are here almost, they became present in the same year way back in 2002, 2003. But you don't start seeing even Trilinos taking advantage. The difference between ePetra and tPetra is ePetra is essential Petra, but it's 32-bit based, where tPetra is templated, where you could base it on any data type that you would like to have. That's also true, yes. But you'll note that a lot of the packages that are taking advantage of tPetra didn't come online, or at least get started until 10 years later. Well, yes, now internally in Trilinos we have mostly switched over to tPetra, but now we have kind of had to wait on the applications to do the same. So. Many of the packages that are being deprecated actually have a tPetra equivalent. So this is in most meetings, big meetings, I say this: ePetra deprecation and removal is coming. We've got it planned for September. If you are using ePetra, please switch over as soon as you can, because it will be going away. And we can help you with that. Just ask if you're already making use of ePetra. If you are using some of the deprecated packages, which is the last column there, they had some aspects dependent on ePetra. They have removed that, put in appropriate replacements. But hey, if you haven't tested it yet, please test it. Make sure that you're still seeing the functionality and performance that you were expecting. This is a large deprecation, and we've made a significant effort to make sure we have the appropriate replacements, but you know how it is. Something can always slip through the cracks. Okay, what do we have for the rest of the afternoon? Well, this was the introduction, and then we're going to have the area leads come up and give more details on each of those areas and give you some additional information. We have a couple of users talks, and then Chris Seifert will be, he is right there, got it. He'll be giving us a talk on some of the performance that we've been seeing and how we're monitoring that, which has been really helpful in us catching performance regressions. And then lastly, Christian's going to be giving us a PyTrilinos 2 demo at the end on how to take advantage of Trilinos through Python. So that's all I had. Any questions? Yeah?
So I was kind of curious about the package development process. So are those like largely independent of the Trilinos team and they need some standards, they get merged in. Can you describe that process?
Yeah, so in the past, usually what happens is some piece of software starts getting developed, and then at some point it's saying like, oh, can we take advantage of a larger community? Oh, we already are taking advantage of other Trilinos packages, so maybe we should now become part of Trilinos. Usually at that point, we have a simple little application form. Hey, what gap are you trying to address? What kind of problems? Is this a good fit for Trilinos? And then the leadership team kind of looks that over, makes a decision. Sometimes, the decision can go like, oh yeah, no, this is something that nobody else is covering. It's a new area. Let's make a new package. But it's like, oh, if it's a flavor of a solver, well, maybe it shouldn't be its own package. Maybe it should be part of one of the current type packages. So it's an open discussion, but you just want to make sure it's a good match for everybody. Did that get it for you?
Yeah, because I think sometimes in like similar projects, I think they tend to focus more on how much of the class they're using and how extendable is your contribution that can be built upon.
Yeah. No, we can have those conversations too, but it's like, hey, what kind of capability would this provide? Is it really something distinct, or is it really, maybe a flavor of something else and it's maybe better suited somewhere else, with another package? It's an open discussion.
Yeah, because also I think from a grant, point of view, just to have like some potential of, maintenance being kind of shared is very, very cool.
Yeah, and that's, early on that was really the goal. Can we share the CI process and someone help support all of these? I mean, many of these packages, the number of developers varies from like 1 to half dozen. So they're not huge projects, but hey, you don't want every one of those trying to do all the CI work themselves. Yeah. So so I do have a DAG that shows, that shows all the required dependencies between all of them. And if I show you the ePetra versus the non-ePetra one, you're going like, oh, great, it's gotten simpler, which is what we're after. But that's just the required dependencies. You can have optional dependencies like, oh, if you use this feature, then you better bring this package in. Yeah, and if I show you that one, it gets really bad. And then there's a slight feature called, we have sub-packages. So within that, you can break it down. If I show you that one, if you remember Todd's plot for SPAC and all those dependencies, we're there. Right, it just gets where it's not even useful to look at. But yes, there is a lot of, there's actually a file, an XML file you can generate from Trilinos, take a look at it, and it basically will show you, oh, hey, here's my required dependencies, here's my optional, here's my required for tests, here's my optional for tests. And same thing for third-party libraries. You can have those listed out. So the dependency tree can get ugly.
I would like to make the point, though, that if you know which package you would like to try using, it is currently a monolithic package-based build system, so you can build the product Trilinos and only turn on the package you're interested in or the packages, and it will take care of the rest for you. You can turn on all the upstream required packages.
So let's say you just want to do new,
Yep, and it will automatically turn on all the other necessary packages.
When it gets to optional, then you have to choose to leave them off by default.
Okay, we probably should move on.